A successful business doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and persistence, which is exactly what the Coffee and Hustle podcast is all about. Today, we are going to talk about a little spice and everything nice with Larry Johnson, the owner of LJ'z Backyard Bayou. And we're going to go into the business aspect of why he got into this business today and his history of his family vibe and cooking experience that he got with his mother and grandmother's house. And he's going to talk about his veteran experience and what he offered to move from that military aspect into the now LJ'z Backyard Bayou. So stay tuned to this great and wonderful podcast. Hello and welcome to the Coffee and Hustle podcast. I'm Carla with Designed by Carla, and today we are going to talk about a little spice and everything nice with Larry Johnson, owner of LJ'z Backyard Bayou. Welcome to our podcast, Larry.
Thank you, Carla. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so give us a little bit of the spice on the LJ'z Backyard Bayou. Give us a little bit about your restaurant and what you do.
Okay, so I'm a Cajun+Creole inspired restaurant. I'm from Louisiana, Franklin, Louisiana, which is west of New Orleans. And one of the things that we kind of focus on is authentic Cajun restaurants, Cajun cuisine. I got recipes from my mom and my grandmother that was passed down from generation. And we just seen that it was a market here in the Huntsville area. So we've been pursuing this dream, this vision of ours, and LJ'z Backyard Bayou just kind of took off through word of mouth.
So you came, you guys were working on this restaurant actually right before COVID started, right? So you guys were in the process of remodeling the restaurant, getting it set up and to go, and you guys had to transition to, you know, a new moment where COVID kind of put you at a standstill, or how did that happen for you guys?
Yeah, so after I retired from the military, we pursued catering. We was doing a lot of catering events. We had military functions. We was trying to find us a place that we can actually hang our hat with the catering. So we stumbled upon a building out in the Harvest area. And with that area, the whole concept was for us to get a building that we was going to make it out of commissary kitchen, concentrate more on the catering side, but we'll have a place that we can actually kind of hold function. So finally, once we built up the nerve to kind of pursue that dream, you're right, COVID hit. COVID hit and it kind of delayed us, but it was a good thing because it kind of opened up the avenue. During that time frame, we realized that it was a real need for grab and go in that process, because it took us maybe about a year to kind of get this thing up and running. And during that time frame, we noticed that people started coming out a little bit more. Now the market was for people was looking for a place to go and have a meal. So luckily we were still doing our remodeling, so we decided to build a huge deck so people could kind of come out and kind of have a place where they could just kind of eat meals. Also during the COVID, we was able to kind of build a drive-through window for those that wanted to do a grab-and-go concept, but still kind of focus on our catering, because that was the thing that was paying the bills. So COVID was a blessing and a curse at the same time. You know, the curse, of course, with everything going on, but it was a blessing because it allowed us to pause a minute and kind of see exactly what direction the country was going and adjust.
So you and your wife, your wife, both of you are veterans, right?
Yes.
And so your partner in crime, Wendy, who is an amazing individual. I've never seen her without a smile.
Big shout out, Wendy.
Wendy, we love you. And so, Larry, you've been married for over 19 years. You think of her as she is your best friend.
Yes.
So being that she's part of this dream of yours has got to be something you're very, very proud about.
Absolutely. It's just a blessing to kind of first have a passion and then have your partner there to kind of to grow with you. And when we started out, we was doing the catering aspect of it, but it was catering and events. So our whole concept was to have events that we could travel with, but make it Louisiana inspired. Now, the touch that my wife cooks, but also she's good with the decorating and the theme base. So it kind of worked out the catering and events more so on her side that she could be creative. And the catering, of course, with me just kind of putting that Louisiana feel to it. So it was a blessing to kind of have that vision and have that support that allowed me to kind of go ahead and pursue this. And more so, Wendy is finding her niche at the same time.
Yeah, she's actually a wonderful individual. It's so much fun, and she's just fun to have a good time with. And she brings that vibe to your restaurant. So, not just you're going to get there and eat, but you also have like this family vibe. You feel like you're part of the restaurant, part of the LJ'z Backyard Bayou family when you actually walk in the door.
Awesome. That's the intent, Carla. That feeling that you get. I grew up in the South, and we grew up every Sunday. Most of Sunday we'd normally go to grandma's house, our aunt's house. But somebody was cooking, and normally the family would get there, and sometimes it was normally after church. But the cousins, everybody will meet up, and we'll have us a Sunday meal. Then the family, we go play, and everybody. But it was a family thing. It was unity. That concept that I grew up on, that's the stuff that I think that helped me be successful in the military, especially once I became a leader, because normally on the Sunday, that's where meals was happening. I invite my whole crew over and my friends over, and we'll cook something, and then that's where we would kind of recharge for the next week. So the concept of LJ'z Backyard Bayou, I'm thankful that you did mention the feel that you get, because that's the concept we're getting. That's the concept we're striving for. We want you to come there and you feel like you're coming over to our place.
Basically, come into your house.
Come to my house.
Come to my house. Mm-hmm. You're going to get great food, but you're going to get a great vibe and community feel, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you come out of that kitchen and you come out and you talk to people. You're part of the restaurant vibe. You don't just sit in the background and, people know who you are. Along with Wendy, when you walk in, Wendy has this great smile. The concept is so great for you guys to be part of that community.
Awesome. Thank you. And we try to get to know our regulars. We get to know them on a first name basis, and they get to know us. So we try to make it a little bit more personable. And plus, we enjoy entertaining, so it's a great job.
And you got music playing in the background.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So it's like a party every day. You're at LJ'z, right?
I try to, Carla. I try to get my party on.
You're trying to get your party on.
Absolutely.
Well, I've heard you like to karaoke, so maybe that's something that you need to bring back to LJ'z.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would show up for that.
Would you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, bring the karaoke on.
I
heard that you hog the mic from a little secret.
Supposedly, we do a little Ike and Tina and stuff, but yeah.
I've heard that you guys like the karaoke. So I want to say that the vibe in the restaurant that you're putting together, it's a great, and people are starting to really recognize it more and more since you guys have been establishing yourself. What are some of the feedback? What is the things that people say to you that really makes LJ'z today?
Some of the things you mentioned, that they feel like we're personable. They feel like they're coming over on Sundays. They feel like they're coming over to grandma's house, which is one of the concepts. They love the idea that we give the vibe that we're small. They get the mom and pop feel from us.
Yeah, because I think that people miss that the Sunday dinners around the family table. I mean, families are now separated out. They're not as close in their own cities like they used to be, right? We've moved away, right? And so we need to bring people back together, and that restaurant, you can do that with them.
Absolutely. That's the intent of it. So those are some of the feedbacks we get. We got some good reviews out on the Google. One of the things that we pride ourselves is when we ask about how people hear about us, we're getting a lot of referrals. Someone came in, ate there, enjoyed it, and they tell their friends, or they tell their cousins, or they tell a family member. So
because you're going to get a home cooked meal.
Absolutely.
Right, and y'all have your Sunday specials, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every Sunday there's something special that you are offering that's not on the menu.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, what is one of the biggest requests on Sunday dinners? Like, what is that one meal that people request over and over from you? Do you know?
Shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits.
They love the shrimp and grits. Matter of fact, we're going to fine tune our menu to try to make sure we make that shrimp and grits a big part of the menu. But we alternate on Sundays, and the Sundays we call it a worship plate. And that's, we assume that after you finish doing your worship and you come in and you eat. So that's where that concept came about. That they come in and they kind of enjoy that atmosphere, and most of the time it's the vibe. My wife, Wendy, like you mentioned, Wendy never met a stranger. So when you come through the door, you're going to be greeted. And then after that, we come out and we talk and we chat and we get to know each other. And for the most part, me in the back, normally, we got an opening, so most of the time I get to know your flavor. I have some customers that like a little spice.
Yeah.
So when they come in, I already know exactly what I need to do. Okay, and some come in, they have their regulars meals. So and I take pride in that aspect of getting to know the flavor and everything else.
So Larry, you were in the military, but you also and you were. You got your degree in, in human resource management? Right.
So when I joined the military, I joined the military to backtrack. My dad had passed away in 95, which was the rock of the family. So lost time, not even knowing exactly what I wanted to do. Prior to that, I went to McNeese State University, where I played football briefly. And then I went to University of Southwest Louisiana, USL, which is now ULL, the Raging Cajun. I went there up until the time frame my dad passed. And then that's when my world kind of got shook up. I knew I wanted to get away from the small town. Didn't know how I was going to get away. So I talked with a recruiter one day and told the recruiter I didn't know what job I wanted, but I wanted an office job. And luckily, I landed in the HR field of the military.
Well, you're definitely far from the HR
field. Yeah.
We went from just HR to real extreme into the restaurant industry.
Yeah, but I think it kind of ties in because the HR focus on your customer service and you that personnel and that aspect of it that kind of really keep an organization going. So I think I was able to kind of grab that aspect of it and understand what the customers want and how to place customers' needs above everything else. So I think that's the strength that I kind of pull from those, my background with the military and those degrees.
And you also have got a master's in business administration?
Right. So after military, I realized that, hey, I really I need to get into this food thing because now the recipe and I'm getting requests to do the catering and to do the food thing. So when I got out, I enrolled with an organization called the Women Business Center of North Alabama here. I enrolled there to kind of to formulate a business plan. And while I was out, I was able to go to do Voc Rehab, and I told them I needed to learn more about business. And gratefully, they was like, well, we could send you back to school, and they did, and they asked which field that I wanted to go with. And it was going in either the culinary and the business aspect of it. I knew how to cook, figured I could get there, but I really needed to kind of tone in onto the business aspect of it. So we decided to go towards the business side just so I could formulate a business plan and to kind of...
Which is smart because a lot of times people get in and just wing it. And you went in it with more of a strategical aspect of, okay, I got this passion. How do I create this passion into the success? And you took the measures to do that. And I think that's smart because people think that you just go up and get a loan, open up a door and start, and that's where we fail a lot of times.
I think so.
So you started out, did you hang out in the kitchens of your mom and grandpa's kitchen while they were cooking? How did you formulate this passion with them?
Yeah, I grew up, like I mentioned, my mom, my grandma, people always gather around our house, around the holidays especially. Sunday's grandma. So I was always, I think I was a greedy kid. So I always hung around the kitchen. not necessarily getting so much involved in the cooking, but just
you just want to be there.
I wanted to be the test taster. Let me taste some food.
Taste the food.
And once I went to college, I realized I was missing that flavor. I'm in school, and there's just so many dollar Whoppers at the time that you can eat.
Or Chick-fil-A's.
It was just so many those things that you can eat. So I started calling back and asking for recipes. How you do this? How you cook this? And once I kind of mastered it, and while I was doing it, I was trying it out on friends. We invite them over.
I bet you they were happy,
they
right?
was happy. Everything was good. You know what I mean? And
it was party at your house, right?
Yeah. We play cards and invite them over, and that was kind of like our time passer.
Yeah.
To get through. So that's kind of how it started out. Through friends and family.
Well, that's good because you continued on something as a tradition because it's our job, right, to continue some traditions of our family. And hopefully pass it on down to, other generations, right? So your cooking skills, hopefully, maybe down the line, somebody else will want to pick it up and continue on with those traditions to continue what you do. So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you go back home, right, and you're not cooking, what is one of the restaurants that you go to and eat at? Is there a couple of them that you enjoy going to?
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, like, back home, everybody's cooking. So normally when I go home, I don't really get a chance to kind of experience the restaurants. We're normally just going from place to place because everyone is cooking in the backyard in big old pots. And they find out that you went home, they take offense to that. Well, you went home, I'd have cooked this big plate of red beans. So those aspects, they have when I go to New Orleans, they had a po' boy shop called, I think it's Domino's, that we kind of random and we'll go there, but most of the time it's
always with family.
It's family at home. I think most of the tourists kind of get involved with those things, but you get good meals from the family.
So when you started LJ'z, did you have you talk about the catering? Are you still offering the catering aspect to the business, even though you're still offering your day-to-day meals?
Absolutely. Actually, we just finished a large catering for 1,500 people for the Christmas party with the Kohler manufacturer. So we was.
How many was that?
That was 1,500 employees.
And what was the one thing what was the one meal they wanted the most?
So they wanted to just do some chicken. They didn't do the Cajun thing. They just wanted a basic meal. Which was they ended up getting brisket, which was good, and they wanted baked chicken, green beans.
I bet you wanted to put some spice on that chicken.
I did. I think we was trying to talk them into it. Hey, well, maybe you
put
want
a little
to
extra, right? Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah, they was trying to set the tone to do something for their employees, and they wanted to just go kind of basic for now. But I think they will go Cajun.
So you guys moved. So where were you stationed before you came here?
I was at Fort Knox, Kentucky.
And what brought you to Huntsville?
So after I was at Fort Knox, so I went to Fort Knox to take a deployment. Took a deployment, and we went to Kuwait. And during this time frame, this is when they have the drawdown is happening. We're trying to move the troops from Iraq. I was over in the Kuwait area. And it was supposed to be like the drawdown area. So that was like my last big mission. Once I got back, I talked to my branch manager, which is the person that manages your assignment or where you go. And I told him that I think that we're going to retire. So we was trying to find out a place to retire. My wife, Wendy, was in the contracting field. So that was one of the big motivators of getting here because I knew that I was going to retire out and we was going to transition her career, and I followed her a minute. So we stumbled upon this place here and loved it. This is her hub for the contracting field, so it worked out to our benefit, and I was able to kind of transition on out and do what I do. And
in that aspect of you coming here, you're able to create something with your passion, with your Cajun spices. Because I have to say your food is incredible. I love eating your food.
Thank you.
I could probably eat it in 5 seconds if you let me. But
thank you.
So, what is your favorite on the menu? What is the most requested thing on your menu?
Well, we have two. We have boudin balls, which is if you haven't tried the boudin balls,
Tell them what's in the boudin balls.
So we take a pork butt and we grind that up and we put some fresh vegetables in it and mix it with some rice and some good seasoning that you can see some good green onions and bell peppers and celery, all those good things in there.
You're making me hungry now.
And we make it into a ball, size of a golf ball. Some of them are bigger because we hand rolling it. So sometime when my daughter I don't want to roll so much, you probably get a big old boudin ball when she's trying to finish up.
I want her to make mine. So
yeah, so we do that and we deep fry it. So it's the boudin balls and the etouffee.
Yes, etouffee is
and
wonderful. And
that's one, and we kind of created a meal that we call it a catfish bayou. That we kind of take the etouffee with the fish, and we kind of have the etouffee over the fish. That's a big request as well.
So, and you also, when we were talking about the business aspect, you went from, a redesign of your logo. Now you're talking about, bringing it up a notch by doing some video storytelling, because it's important to really people know your story. And do you feel like that when you do that, people can relate to you more and be able to come and understand that this is, not your typical franchise restaurant?
Yeah, I think it is important. I think it's important for them to understand who we are and what we're trying to be. We're not trying to be the big chain restaurant. We like the idea that we're personable, we're small, that we get to know each other, and we like the idea that people could come over and have a meal with us. So I think that's one of the big things that we feel like a story needs to go out. And before we was looking at we had a black and gold color. I gotta tell the story. So we had a black and gold color, and the color I was going with more of those from Louisiana. We was looking more of like those Saints colors, the black and gold, and we rolled at that for a while. But then finally it was like we need to do a revamp, and we had to get another logo, and everyone else was looking at my logo, and it was like, I could tell I wasn't getting the warm and fuzzy. So finally, friends recommended that, hey, maybe you need to revise this logo. And I remember reaching out to a superb designer, and I
wonder who that is.
Yeah, well, that was Miss Carla, and I
got is a random phone call from someone that called me up and said, hey, I got referred to you.
That's right.
And we ended up having a great conversation, and he was so much fun to talk to. And I said, wait a minute, this logo that you currently have is just too boring for you, right? Yeah. And we talked about this design that brings that, the real aspect of what Mardi Gras, the fun vibe of who you are today. So that created this nice logo that you have today. So.
Yeah, I credit that. I think that was a big game changer to do that, and then with the colors, it livened us up a little bit. And
I think that's so important in your branding. Mm-hmm. We talk about branding. A lot of people talk about it, but it really has to be an emotional connection between you and that logo. And once you're proud of that, and once you put it on things and you see it out there and you have that connection with it, you're going to see it more and more and more, because you're going to have that emotional connection. If you're not happy with that, you're not going to really do a whole lot what you want to do. Now your vision's changed. Right. So
absolutely, it made it fun, and I think people since then with the purple and capturing that color, we have a huge deck that we built and we painted it purple.
Yeah, are y'all going to get ready for Mardi Gras?
Yes, we're
going to come do some Mardi Gras partying over there.
Hopefully, we could do something.
Yeah, because me and you, we're from the neck of the woods, right?
Yeah, the country.
Yeah, we're from LA.
She the LA. Our LA a little different.
Your LA might be a little different, but we're still down in the.
We're LA.
We're down in the South there. Yeah, so absolutely, we both grew up down that area.
Deep South.
Deep South.
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
That's good people down there.
I think so. I mean, everything I credit to my upbringing. Like I say, everybody at home that I know, we grew up kind of.
So, who was your the biggest influence in your life?
I had two, my mom and my dad. My mom, for the standpoint that I see that she was always handling the day-to-day operation, and my dad was a business owner, well known in the community, and what I got from him is the way that he treated people, and I got that work ethics from him. So I think it was both.
Yeah, and you know that business, being a business owner is it can be a hard day, it could be a challenging day, but then there's always those good days,
Yeah.
And some people, they got to know that they have to work for that success or, because it's not a given, you have to work for this every single day.
Yeah, it is, and it's a daily struggle, but it's good. I think the key thing to us is just being yourself. Not trying to be anything else. I remember when we first started out, we was getting compared to po' boy factories and different other Cajun inspired restaurants, and we didn't see the anything that was similar to what we did.
We just need to how to identify that, re-identify it, and rebrand it, and
Absolutely.
make it different. So, do you have any important lessons that you've learned from this to share with other people?
I would tell you, if you have a vision, now you hear a lot about having a vision and writing the vision down. I would tell you, if you have a vision, definitely take time and write it down, just so you can revisit it. The goals that I had, I wrote down, and I didn't even know how I was going to get to step 2. But I mean, I had this big old vision that I was going to do what I'm doing now.
Do you do that now? Did you rewrite your goals?
Yes, ma'am. I write it down. I read it. I have a vision that I wrote down like 10 years ago. That while I was in the military, I remember having a sergeant major, and I was one of those soldiers that I was a good soldier, but then sometimes I have my issues. And soldiers, my sergeant major got me to come to church with her. And during that sermon, I remember they was talking about writing down the vision, make it clear, write it down on the pad. I think the scripture was Habakkuk, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember leaving there and writing down the goals. I'm going to retire military. At this point, I'm maybe 8 years in the military. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I kind of wrote those little things down. And then each year, I would revisit those goals to see exactly that progress. With it, and I think it makes a difference when you can write something down and you could look at it and see exactly your progress, how you can adjust files. So that's one of the things I would tell someone, just to
so don't keep it in your head.
Yeah, you write your vision down, you follow it, and then we have faith. A lot of us have faith, but having taking the action to do it. You know, faith without work is dead. So.
Yeah, if you can't work for it, it's not going to just happen. You got to work for it. And
Yes,
sometimes
ma'am.
you have to work a little harder for it.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you had to share like a favorite memory, do you have a favorite memory you can share?
In regards to the business?
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember just starting out, Wendy and I, we started out and we didn't know what it was going to take. And I remember that the first day we was doing soft opening. And I remember we were cooking and we made like $100. And we were so excited. It was like,
you were like, yes.
That was like the highlight.
Were y'all dancing in the kitchen like, whoa, we got to make.
She came back like, we got $100. And then after that, you got your slow times. You got slow times and you got your fast times.
But it's those little things, right?
Right, because we wasn't understanding, so you got your lunch, but you got to get a dinner rush as well. But this is opened up in this around the lunchtime frame, and not too many people know about it. But once we hit $100, we were like so excited. We got $100.
Big spender.
Yeah, balling. we were straight balling with $100.
I bet you were so excited. I could see Wendy dancing around. Just
the kid going to college.
So do you have? Can you talk about like anything that you failed at that you've learned from?
I did. Carla, when I got out the military, one of the things that I tell people about following their goals and getting in touch with you, because once I got out the military, was getting ready to transition out the military. One of the things that I was diagnosed with was PTSD. We went down that road, and it was a road that just trying to get to know yourself again. You're not realizing that what's the cause effect of sometimes your service. And I found myself sometimes I was being standoffish sometimes, and I couldn't understand why. And one of the key advice that I got was just to kind of calm down and find your passion. Find what you want to do. I know, you got a whole world and everybody expect you to be this person and be that person. One of the best advice I could tell anyone is just to kind of find your passion, be you, and be you unapologetically. I think if you kind of follow those aspects of it, I see that things kind of changed around for me. It's my therapy. Cooking is my therapy. So I would advise anyone else that probably going down a dark road or may not know exactly what they want to do is just kind of follow that instinct. That instinct means something. You're giving that instinct for something. And if you could follow that and I always say grind with blinders on. Have those blinders on. You don't need to look to your right, your left.
Just keep going.
Keep your eyes on your prize
and never give up.
And make it do what it do.
Right. Because, those blessings are around the corner. You just don't know it yet.
Absolutely. And that's how I view life. I look at it from that standpoint. And once you're doing your passion, you start looking at life from a positive standpoint. We can always probably nitpick some things that probably could go better in life. But I kind of, I choose the route to just kind of look at the things that I know that's going right.
Well, if we talk about the military in itself, that, we've known a lot of guys that don't go out there and get the help they need, right? And they cannot figure it out, and you're telling them just reach out and get the help you need, because it really does help you. Absolutely.
Military-wise, it's normal. 90%, really it's normal. And besides the military, you have... so many of us probably deal with the same thing, and every time someone hear that terminology, they kind of cringe up, thinking, something on the negative sense, though. But all it is a result of somebody going through a traumatic event, whatever that may be, and dealing with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I tell all my soldiers. I always have, I'm still in contact with a lot of soldiers.
I was going to ask you, are you still talking to your guys?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We talk. And
it's important to share your story.
A lot of them came down for my grand opening.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and we stay in contact. They call me Chief.
That's awesome. And so, and I also heard that you were going to try to, at one time, your dream is to start packaging your food.
Absolutely. I think that's the next phase. What we're trying to get into is to do the packaging. I think we have a good.
Can you mail to my P.O. box?
I would love to mail to you. I'm a FedEx it to you.
You'll FedEx me some food.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because your food's amazing.
Yeah, so
when you talk about success, do you know what the meaning of success is for you?
Yeah, I think so. Success for me. Not necessarily a word, but I could describe it is being able to. Right now, I'm working, but I'm working with my family. I got my daughter. She's a high school senior that's getting ready to get out of school. And she's a band student. So sometimes we have to adjust our schedule. But I'm working with her, and this is her first job. So going through the process of teaching her work ethics. I'm working with my wife. I have some Army buddies that we're kind of working together. So I think that's, for me, being able to follow my passion, do what I enjoy doing around good people. And then, and I have great customers. I think the community kind of gravitate towards us, and they support us. They become part of the family. So to me, that makes me successful. I don't put any monetary value on it. It's just one of those things that you found your road. I feel like I'm in my groove right now.
Yeah, you found your path, and sometimes we gear off on it, sometimes, but knowing the fact that you're on that path of success, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And knowing that you got people around you, that's all you can ask for.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I'm going to ask you one last question.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Red beans and rice.
Red beans and rice every day.
I would eat it. Yes. Red beans and rice.
He's doing it with a smile. He's saying yes with a big old smile on his face.
Give it to me. I could. Yeah.
Yeah. Red beans and rice.
Yeah. You know, red beans. Growing up, red beans and rice could back home to feed the whole family.
That's right. That's right.
It's cheaper and you could get it, and then you just learn to put
but it's
other
good.
things in it.
Yeah, that extra spice, right? That little spice you put on it.
Yes, ma'am. Put the spice.
Put the spice.
The spice.
I
and
like
everything
it.
Nice.
Everything nice.
Talk that talk. Talk that talk.
We'll talk it. We'll talk it. You can back it up too. You got some good food.
I appreciate it.
So do you want to put a plug in when you're open during the week and when people can find you? How do they find you?
Absolutely. So we're open Friday through Sunday. Friday and Saturday is 11 to 7, and on Sundays 11 to 5. We offer pan size meals throughout the week with a 24-hour notice. So if anything that's on our menu that whether it's a gallon of gumbo or some crawfish mac and cheese, we offer that throughout the week with a 24-hour notice. You're able to pick up, which is a pan size. I'm
drooling over here.
So you're able to pick up those pan size meals during that time frame. And then also for your catering event, you give us 2 to 3 weeks notice. We can try to arrange something that we have to come to you and serve. If not, we prepare meals for you, and you're able to pick up whether it's a military function or family function as a repast or anything.
Or even Carla's house.
Or even Carla's house. We could kind of work it out for you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Bring it on home.
LA in the house.
LA in the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, this is a pleasure, and you're definitely a hoot to have around. And I just, hate that I wish Miss Wendy today, but you give her a nice shout out. And
Yes.
But thank you for coming to our podcast. And if you've not tasted your food, they better get on over there, right?
Yeah, get on. What you waiting on?
What are you waiting on? Drive on down the road.
Yeah, definitely.
Hit home. That's what I'm saying. Hit home, and his address should be in there.
Come get some of these good diddles.
Feels. Bootin' balls.
Come get them.
Get your bootin' balls. Get your worship plate.
So come get the worship plate.
Come give me the worship plate. Come party with the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Food for your soul.
That's right.
You'll enjoy it.
Should we say woo wee?
Go ahead.
Woo wee! Aye.
Aye. Yeah.
Little Cajun talk.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you here. You're just so much fun to have around, and I hope next time you bring us some food.
I will. Next time I will. I hope you have me again.
Did you enjoy the podcast? Great. I'm glad you had it. So thank you for joining us
Coffee and Hustle.
Coffee and Hustle. Yeah, Coffee and Hustle. It's all every day.
Every day. I like it.
Coffee and Hustle.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate y'all. LJ'z Backyard Bayou. Y'all come check us out. Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.